Good morning and welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 19th of July. So looking at the euro dollar first, and well, yesterday saw a solid push up there through the daily R1. At the moment, we're having a bit of a retrace here. You see it better on this 4 hourly, just a bit of a correction. It's just broken its 4 hourly 8. May want to get right away back towards the 21. We do have a daily pivot below. Actually, it's not now any longer below. It was a while ago. Anyway, it's now below the daily pivot. Now, this would be interesting to see this morning how we react to it. It may just want to come back towards that 60-minute 50 while since it's tested that area. If we see a reversal this morning, I mean, it's a straightforward line on the chart here. The trend is towards the upside. My preference is towards the upside on this market for the euro dollar. At the moment, I'd be looking more so looking for longs above that level. Now the 21 moving average, you can see it there curling around a little bit. Maybe that'll provide resistance. It may be sensible to wait to see us break that level if you're looking on the long side. Although there may be opportunities back into the 60-50 as an early buy signal if you were looking at the long side. Any break of that 60-50 and it sort of changes my picture a little bit. We haven't really put in a retracement upwards to apart from this one candle, which is pretty thin at the moment, but we haven't had a sort of a proper lower high at the moment to be confirmed. So the trend really sticks with this bigger picture of higher lows, higher highs. So looks more bullish than anything, but it, as I say, may just see a bigger correction this morning. If we do, well, break that 50 really signifies more of a significant downside to me, but I'm more bullish than bearish at the moment. Pound, similar picture in terms of its overall shaping. It did sell off a little bit more yesterday into the weekly pivot. I'm still looking at this sort of the standard old head and shoulder pattern here that's going in there. Even if you ignore the head and shoulders and just look at the equal throws potential that we've got here, I'm sort of erring on the more bullish side. But again, we could see that changed as we run through the morning. Now, break of the weekly pivot would make me a bit more bearish, a little bit more choppy in what we've seen here. There was some divergent sort of moves in terms of the run up here on the RSI. We had a bit of a divergence into the highs there, so well, perhaps we could see a bigger correction, and the pound is seen as a tad weak, but with the lower inflation numbers, which really affected it yesterday in the first place, and of course we've got Brexit, etc. But we have got an untouched daily pivot above at the moment, which may, if we see that hit, we'll see what happens thereafter. A break of that pivot at 50 MA would again be a more bullish sort of move and may see us run back towards yesterday's highs. A failure to get through the 50 and a bit of a rollover there, well, it may come back, test a weekly pivot, and I'll be if it fails to break that mid-afternoon high there, I may be a little bit more bearish in terms of what happens going on through the day. Okay, that's the pound. Dollar yen. Dollar yen here is corrections. We've got a bit of a rest in this correction at the moment. We're starting to get to more significant levels now. We've got a whole combination of confluence around here on this chart with this moving averages and previous highs and the significant number of things kicking there. The key thing is, can it continue breaking through? Excuse me. Today, can we continue in this downward move? Now we have got the lower highs, lower lows still kicking in. We've still got an untouched monthly pivot, which is still a possibility below, and it's really just sort of shaping up. Now we've had a little break. I've drawn this trend line on, maybe needs a bit of an adjustment to below the current candle, but we'll just see how it runs. The one thing that's significant for today is the lack of any news. Until we've got 1:30, we've got some building permits coming out in the US, which are very small news in this day and age, but may create a bit of volatility. We've got crude oil inventories at 3:30, which may move some currencies more than others, particularly the Canadian dollar. But at the moment, with the again, I'm sort of looking lower highs, lower lows in the main that's running through there. Although we had this little pitch up here, pull back, so we have had in the short term higher low, and pushed into this sort of higher high sort of situation now. So it's the question if this is this just a little sort of bull flag in the bigger picture, or is the yen going to be pushed back towards an untouched weekly pivot that's above? Okay, that's the dollar yen. Let's have a look at the Aussie dollar. Again, we've seen a bit of a stalling of the moves here. Again, big day yesterday. And that looks like it's actually stalled on the days here. Perhaps not 19th, it's okay. So solid old day there. Now there is a bit of divergence around the highs on this 4-hourly as well. So maybe we'll see a bigger correction, daily pivot well below, so maybe a bigger correction is due there. You could be looking at just looking to see if it breaks that weekly pivot level, that horizontal level. But it looks at the moment good, almost the way it's moving here, good towards that daily pivot, which is a possibility. See how it runs there. Break of the 50 would put me in a more bearish zone here with the Aussie, but overall, again, it's one of these that's been moving up, but the strength, it's almost like a wall of worry, as we say with stocks, where they people are worrying they're not in it, and then they get in it, and of course the profit starts getting taken, and it's wonderful to see some profit taking as it is into its monthly R2 pivot there. Okay, that's Aussie dollar, and finally Canadian dollar. Another strong market mover, push down. Yes, again, there is a bit of divergence sort of sitting in this sort of bigger daily picture, and well, arguably the 4-hourly there yesterday as well. Now it's just slowed down the upper bars. If you notice, quite often a lot of these upper bars are quite tiny. The more significant bars have been to the downside as we've seen news events and oil kicking in and improving things. Here we got well, again, it's a sort of question: are we going to start seeing a bit more of a move back towards that weekly pivot? It's a bit like the dollar yen in that sense. There is a significant or a key trend line that's sort of running down here. Let me just pop that on across here. And that's a sort of line in the sand for now anyway, in terms of where we may be. If it starts breaking that area, maybe we are going to see a bigger correction here. So that's pretty much it. Crude oil inventories will be out at 3:30, and that's more likely to affect the Canadian dollar, but the oil prices have affected it less more recently than anything else. It's really looking at the healthy economy as opposed to the price of oil at the moment. But we could see we could be seeing a bit of a reversal here on this market. Right, that's pretty much it for me. So wish you a great day. Bye for now.